Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video. Today we're taking a look at my updated Hog Trifecta deck. Now, if you guys aren't aware, I've been using a Hog Trifecta strategy for a very long time. It helped me push past 4,000 trophies up to 4,200 as my personal best. But a lot has changed since my previous video on this strategy. The meta is completely different from back then, so I've made some changes to the deck itself to help counter the current meta. For example, I used to use the cannon in this deck, but I'm now using the Inferno Tower with the meta favoring siege decks, Lava Hound decks, Royal Giant decks, and Giant decks. I feel like the Inferno Tower is much stronger in this strategy now than the cannon used to be. It is a bit weaker against faster cycling decks like Hog Rider decks and Miner decks, but it is a lot stronger against, like I said, those Giant decks, those Royal Giant decks, Lava Hound decks, stuff like that. And I also threw in the Ice Golem in there just because the Elixir Pump got a pretty huge nerf in the last round of balance changes, or the one before that, sorry. And the Ice Golem actually got a buff in this recent round of balance changes, increasing its death damage, so it now one-shots skeletons at tournament standards. And that change is huge because a lot of people are using Skarmory decks right now, and the Ice Golem is a perfect counter to the Skarmory, whereas previously you would have had to finish off that Skarmory with a Zap anyways. And it's also pretty good for taking out minions with the help of a Zap. But that's enough talking here. Let's go ahead and do some live tournament battles and see this deck in action. So here we go, facing off against this guy. We have a not so good starting hand here. We can't really put on immediate pressure if he does a slow push on one side. Let's see what he does first. Ideally, I want to have that Hog Rider in a starting hand, but I think we can defend this pretty good. Ice Spirit should freeze that Lumberjack. Take that out. He's going to Fireball. Interesting decision there. Let's just use a Hog Rider to support this Musketeer. You don't want to spend too much Elixir earlier on, just because they might... let's just Fireball this, though. After I just said don't spend too much Elixir. But what that Fireball did was knock back the Musketeer, and kind of gave our Musketeer one more second to get a shot off. And we're doing pretty good here. But like I said before, you don't want to spend too much Elixir earlier on in the battle until you have your opponent's deck figured out. You'll want to know a couple things. You want to have a general idea as to how much Elixir your opponent has. You also want to know their card rotation, what kind of cards they have in their deck, what kind of cards they have that can counter your cards. Then you want to track their card rotation and know when their counter cards are out of rotation. But I think he gave up. I'm not too sure. No, he didn't. He kind of sat there for a long time not doing anything. Gave me the impression that he might have given up there. But the Inferno Tower should take out the Giant pretty quickly. And then it should also take out the Lumberjack. Let's use the Ice Spirit to do nothing, guys. Use the Ice Spirit to do nothing. But it will go back there and freeze. That freeze plus Fireball should kill the Musketeer. There we go. So the Ice Spirit did value after all. Now let's see here. Doing pretty good so far. Doing pretty good. Let's go ahead and just keep slow pushing this lane here. There's two ways to play this deck. You can do a fast counter control deck. If they push one lane, do an immediate hog push in the other lane. Or you can do more of a beatdown style push when you use, like, let's use the Ice Spirit just to soak up a hit here. Never mind, not do anything. Like I was saying, or you can do more of a beatdown style push where you use the Valkyrie or the Musketeer behind your King Tower. Set up a stronger push. I normally do that if my opponent has strong defenses in their deck and you want to push past those defenses, then either try and outcycle them or do more of a beatdown style push. But we have the 1 crown lead. Both of our towers are sitting pretty good. Let's just play defensively here, guys. We are going to go ahead and zap all this. Valkyrie in the back. You always, if you're doing that kind of defense right there, zap the Prince first before you use the Valkyrie if you can. Because the zap will reset the charge attack on the Prince and save a ton of health on your Valkyrie. But obviously, if your opponent is using like a zap bait deck, then you want to keep that zap for more important reasons. But there we go, getting a victory. Let's go ahead and do that battle here. Facing off against this person, Ricardo. Can I have the good luck? Now, in my opinion, Hog Trifecta isn't nearly as strong as it used to be. It used to be pretty dominant. Now, the current meta is, like I said before, those giant bowler decks, the Lava Hound decks, and the Siege decks, like the Mordor and Expo decks. But I still use the Hog Trifecta just because I have the most experience with it, and because those are the cards that I have upgraded. The gold shortage is a bit of a problem right now because what happens is people like me that don't have very much gold, when they change the meta so drastically, we can't really afford to upgrade all new cards to a ladder level to compete. But this Hog Trifecta deck does work well for me at 4,000 trophies. It's working a lot better after I made all these changes to it. But let's see here. Let's go ahead and use the Valkyrie behind this knight as soon as the Musketeer gets closer. There we go. And maybe let's set up a counter push right here. He does have the Inferno, but potentially the Ice Spear can freeze it. No. Let's zap this, save the Musketeer, and they'll be able to do some work there. No, I will say, guys, this game is very much like rock, paper, scissors. Certain decks are extremely strong against other decks, but then weak to other strategies. One of this deck's weaknesses that I've noticed is facing off against those giant bowler decks. It's really hard, even if you do good damage earlier on. Later on, they can just overwhelm you with so many troops. Some people like to throw in a rocket or a lightning spell instead of that fireball. For that very reason, a rocket will take out the support troops behind that giant. But a lot of those rocket decks require legendaries like the Log, the Princess, the Ice Wizard, stuff like that. And I want to build you guys a deck with no legendaries in it, which is why I'm showing you this today. But let's see here, doing decently here. Use another Inferno Tower to distract this Hog Rider. And this is what comes down to tracking your opponent's cards. Like I said before, you need to know what kind of cards your opponent has, what kind of rotation they're in. He knows I have an Inferno Tower, so he should expect it. And then make some sort of plan to get past it or outcycle me. Let's see here. Hog Rider getting up there, freezing the tower. He has left the game, of course. So this will be another 3 crown. Let's go ahead here and do another battle here, guys. So here we are, facing off against, I don't want to butcher that name by trying, so I won't. Hit him up for good luck, though. We have an okay starting hand here. Ice Golem is really good with a Hog Rider now, guys. Really good at distracting, as well as going in front of a Hog Rider. I'm going to do something really risky here. Really risky. No. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I said in the last replay there, this deck does not do well against this new giant bowler strategy with the lightning spell in it. So, this is going to be a tough battle for sure. This is going to be a tough battle for sure. Even earlier on, sometimes it feels like you have good damage into a tower. But that can be deceiving because later on they just overwhelm you with so many strong cards. What do we want to do here? Do a Ice Golem, Hog Rider, Musketeer push. We might trade towers here, guys. We might trade towers. Unless I can get that. No, we're not going to trade towers. He's going to take out mine, but I won't take out his. But let's use Inferno right here. The Inferno should hopefully do work to that giant. Hopefully, I said. There we go. So we traded damage on the towers. He definitely got the better exchange there, I think. The Tombstone is so strong against Hog Riders right now. Of course, lots of people are using the Log for that very reason. But like I said before, I want to build this deck with no legendaries in it for all you. Let's go ahead and Valkyrie right here. Please target, or not. Zap this. Ice Spirit here. He's playing pretty aggressively for a giant bowler deck. Normally you want to play like on a counter push, play defense, then set up a counter push from it. But with my tower being so low, I have to be careful here, guys. There's Valkyrie right here. There we go. Take out that Musketeer. Try and do a counter push right here in a second. Let's do this. Have the Inferno right here. Oh, I thought that would pig push. Let's zap this though. Ice Spirit for this Mega Minion. Ice Golem to distract. We took out his tower. There we go. I do not feel comfortable in my ability to hold the rest of this battle, though, guys. For another 24 seconds. I don't feel comfortable at all with that. Let's go ahead here. Use a Valkyrie right here. Ice Spirit on this bowler. Thankfully, those rocks are not hitting my tower. Because if they were, he could lightning me to win. He might still be able to lightning and Zaspel. There we go. Getting the victory. Good game. That was pretty intense, guys. I was really focused on winning. Hence why the commentary was very lackluster. But let's go ahead here and do one final battle. So here we go. Bug nuts. Good luck. Let's see what we can do here. I've noticed on ladder, guys, let me know if you notice the same thing. Lots of people are going back to Royal Giant strategies on the ladder. In fact, I'm seeing level 10s with level 13 of Royal Giants. It's very easy to over-level it because it's a common card, which makes it extremely hard to deal with, which is why I'm assuming why so many people are using it. But, pretty clutch defense, I think. We spent a ton of Elixir there, though. That'll only pay off if we get some damage done or force an equal Elixir trade on defense. Fireball here to not accomplish anything. Wow. Best fireball ever. Now he's going to come in with a Hog Rider here. Distract it. Notice how the Ice Spirit went to the tower. Pretty clutch, pretty clutch. That tower should finish off the Hog Rider as well as the Ice Wizard. Really important that I didn't panic there and overplay. As you can see, I do have the Ice Spirit selected. I was thinking about using it. But using the least amount of Elixir on defense as possible is always ideal. Let's just test the waters here, though. Let's see what he has. We're going to test the water, see what he does here. He has an Inferno Tower. We'll freeze that. And it wasn't too bad because we did force an equal Elixir trade with the... or a negative Elixir trade on his part for that Inferno Tower. And then the Valkyrie taking out the Goblins as well as the Mini P.E.K.K.A. All I'm really doing here is just slowly building up a little bit of an Elixir advantage, which is important. Hopefully, over time, we can outcycle his Inferno Tower, go in with a Hog Rider push when he doesn't have that Inferno available. But let's see here. He has the Mini P.E.K.K.A, which obviously he'll use in the back to take out my Musketeer. So what I want to use is the... Never mind. Never mind. Everything that I just said, forget it. I was going to say I was going to use the Ice Spirit to freeze the Mini P.E.K.K.A and then force it to retarget to my Ice Golem. But then he logged. But we did some damage there, I think. Ice Golem to distract the Mini P.E.K.K.A. I love the Ice Golem, guys. The Ice Golem is one of my new favorite cards. Just because it's so strong. It's so cheap on Elixir. So good at forcing positive Elixir trades. Fireball right here. Zap this. Boom. There we go. Come on, Hog Rider. No, not making it to the tower. Not making it to the tower. Unfortunately, not the case, but trying to outcycle him, guys. Trying to outcycle here. Zap all this. One hit from on the tower. There we go. Musketeer finishing off that Mini P.E.K.K.A for me, or bringing it down pretty low. Ice Golem here with a Inferno here, Valkyrie here. Like I said, the Ice Golem coming in clutch, allowing me to cycle faster there. Let's go ahead and use the Musketeer here to support this Valkyrie. If he logs, then we'll use the Ice Spirit afterwards. There we go. I finally caught on this time, not using the Ice Spirit too early. There we go. Well, Ice Golem here. Inferno here. There we go. Now, he has an Inferno Tower up, so I can't just go in there with the Hog Rider yet. I have to play it safe, build up a stronger push, try and get past it. Use a Musketeer right here. Ice Spirit to freeze the Mini P.E.K.K.A. Ice Golem for everything. And then the Inferno here. The Inferno Tower probably was too much, though. I might have been able to get away with not using an Inferno there, which might have allowed me to build up a strong counter push here. Let's wait. Zap all this right here. Ice Spirit here. Come on, Hog Rider, please. There we go. All we're trying to do is just chip him away over time here. There's still a minute 40 seconds left here. Still a minute 40 seconds left. Just do this and this. And let's see here. Zap this. We gotta be careful though, we don't want to overextend too much. Valkyrie for protection, I should say, sorry. Do this, take out that. And just trying to outcycle him here. And what do we want to use here? Musketeer right here. Ice Spirit for this. Hog Rider right here. I'm feeling pretty comfortable that the Hog Rider by itself won't do enough damage to my tower. Zap this. Ice Golem here. Like I said, all I'm doing is just keeping the pressure on this one lane. Fireball right here. Boom. There we go. One more Fireball is all we need, guys. So, with that in mind, let's just play defense here. Inferno right here. Zap this. Ice Golem right here to distract whatever. And we've already cycled back to our Fireball. There we go. Down goes the Fireball, giving us the victory. Hit him up with a good game. Anyways, guys, that will be the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more Clash Royale content. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the next video.